Dexter cattle are a native Irish breed that date back centuries. David Couper has kept a herd on his family farm in Meath since the 1970s, and here he tells us about the breed. Billie O'Shea demonstrates some great ways to cook with their tasty meat.
Usual in the Shannon Basin. And a Lord Harden, he came to Ireland and bought an estate near Tipperary, and his agent, his manager, was a man called Dexter, and he took a whole lot of the cows from the selected from the best hardy cattle of the mountain areas, and that's how they say Dexters were formed. What gave them their small size was crossing, breeding with an imported cow who came from the west of England, Devon cattle. And Devon cattle at that stage were very small. They weren't the tall Devons that we are, and very beefy Devons we know nowadays. They were quite small and quite dumpy cattle. I think they were popular because holdings were quite small, so you tended to go for small cows like Kerrys, like Dexters, which would milk, which would give you some beef, and which would also pull a plough or a cart, an ox cart or whatever. Because they were small and cute, the gentry, if you like, and Lord Harden's estate had them, his friends came to visit. So, of course, he sold them to his friends at a modest profit. They seem particularly well suited to countries like South Africa and Australia because they seem quite hardy and not as prone to suffer from heat. Dexters became extinct in Ireland, their country of origin. In 1974, an Irish doctor called Pádraig Spillane saw a dispersal sale of a famous herd, Dexter herd, owned by a man called Tetley, and Pádraig Spillane bought them. So he donated them to the veterinary faculty of the university in Dublin. The little Dexter herd was sitting there, and the funding ran out, and the authorities in the veterinary faculty said, "Oh, I have to get rid of them." One day, I was standing with my father at home on the farm, and this cattle lorry came up the road. He said, "We've a herd of cattle for you." And I said, and I said, "I thought you couldn't move." And he said, because it came to the university, they didn't make us sign all the paperwork to make sure they never moved or they were killed before they went. He said, "So if you will sign the paperwork now, we will only have been holding them for the last 5 years before they came to you." And that was 1976, and I've been keeping Dexters ever since.
If you have a good quality ingredient, the less you do to it, the better, okay? Look, all I'm doing here is just literally browning this piece of shin on either side. I would pretend it's going to go into the casserole then and get ready for the oven. Just seasoned it, okay, and put that into your casserole pot. And then in here I'm going to put just some little bits of chopped bacon. You could use smoked bacon if you wanted to. I've just got some chopped bacon from Tom that was here earlier on, Tom Doherty. If you just literally put these around the pan, just until they're slightly kind of crispy, okay? I might move on a little bit faster or whatever because we've got one done ahead. Put those in there and then turn down your heat a little bit. I've just got some onion, some carrots, some celery and garlic, and then some ordinary everyday herbs that are so easy to grow at home. Just some rosemary that you can chop up and some thyme, okay? Just give those a little chop up and into the... And then after that, it's just a matter of adding in whatever your liquid's going to be like in the braised dish. And I'm just using a good quality beef stock, or you could use a bit of red wine. But once you sort of brown those off a little bit, then you put those into your casserole as well. And the key thing here, because we're using shin beef, and shin is obviously from an area of the body where the animal's been moving around, the muscle's quite taut, you have to cook it slowly. So just in with your stock just to deglaze the pan a little bit, or of course if you had your wine to go in here as well, pour that in. Now obviously you'd have enough to cover the dish itself, and then into a really, really low oven, okay? For a low oven as in 150, 160 for about 3 hours, or longer if you have time. You can put it lower and longer. But here's the one we made earlier, okay? So here you can see, look, the lovely colours that have come from it. It's really nice. And then really when you're serving that up, just chop a few chives or a little bit of parsley if you have it in the garden. You can season it again if you want, but you know, I sometimes find if I've used a really good quality stock, I won't have to season it again, and especially if you've got the bacon in there as well. The idea is you've cooked it so slowly, it's literally going to melt in your mouth. I've got some mince again that Paddy sent me off from Kerry, and I had thought about doing a burger or something like that, you know, and adding in again chilli and stuff. But then I thought it's always nice to have a nice mince dish that you almost have store-covered ingredients, you know, so you can just pull it together really, really quickly. So what I've done is I've just browned off the mince here, and I've added in a chopped pepper. You could add in an onion, and into that I'm putting a little bit of ground cumin. I've got some turmeric for colour and a lovely earthy flavour, and a little bit of cinnamon, all good store-covered things to make up something kind of a Moroccan-ish spices. And then as well as that, in there I'm going to put a little bit of flour on there just before I pour on some beef stock, and I want it to thicken up and make a sauce. This is really nice if you have a lovely sort of pie dish and you just use sort of thawed puff pastry, and then you can sort of make a pie, or you can do like a shepherd's pie, you know, that you actually get some nice mashed potato, or mash some parsnip maybe with the potato, or mash some celeriac with the potato. Just put some beef stock in there, and that should thicken up nicely. And the other thing that's really going to make a meal of this is some chickpeas that you add in, okay, also into it. I will just leave that cook away there